Welcome back to Stooge Stream. This is Making an Impact, your weekly Global Force Wrestling review / recap show. We're looking at Destination X 2017. I am your host, The Stooge, and I'm joined as always by the first male of professional wrestling podcasting. He is G-Banks.
What's happening, y'all? It's X time.
You've got the X up.
Yeah, it's Destination X.
So you feel the need to cross both your arms like a giant X.
Yeah, they do this on that show X Factor. It's like X, that means you're in, and no X, that means you're not in.
You know, like, this isn't a visual medium. No one can see these shenanigans that you pull at the beginning of all the episodes.
I feel like they can.
Okay.
So let's go on Destination X. Let's do this.
So I've been waiting all week for this show. We knew that there was
Same.
some big things happening. I've tried to avoid spoilers. We literally just finished watching it. You can hear my voice is a bit croaky. We were having a great time cheering along and getting into the show.
All surprises.
It was, and it started with a Destination X match promo package, breaking down exactly what we're going to see over the card. There was interview bot backstage. She was saying something. But our opening match, and this is huge. This is the opening match, and this is what it is. So this gives you an idea of just the caliber of card we're going to be dealing with tonight, because we start with Gail Kim versus Sienna for the Knockouts title.
Woo, what a match.
This was actually really good. I was very much into this match. Both of these women are just incredible athletes.
Fucking oath they are.
Sienna, of course, was accompanied by Biff Tannen. KM.
Come on, get it right.
KM.
Even though he does look like Biff Tannen and sound. And practically
acts,
is, yeah.
And uses his lines. And he is Biff. It's awesome. If you don't know what we're talking about, dude.
Unsubscribe. No, I'm joking.
No, don't.
Yeah.
Find somebody who knows who Biff Tannen is
And ask him.
and become friends with them.
Yeah.
This match, is, as I said, showed some great athleticism from both Gail and Sienna. Sienna, of course, the more powerful of the two, using her hard-hitting style. Gail using her speed and quickness. What did you think?
I thought this match was awesome.
It was.
Yeah, it was a great match.
It was really well done. To the point, even the timing was fantastic of KM causing the distraction.
Wouldn't say causing it.
KM causing the distraction.
No, he was helping his cousin out.
Yep. KM causing the interference.
There we go. I like that one.
Okay, is that better?
That's
that works
better.
for you?
Yeah, I don't like the distraction.
Okay, causing Earl's very limited attention span to be elsewhere. While we had the first of many surprises tonight, Taryn Terrell is back!
Yeah, she's back.
The former leader of the Dollhouse, one of Gail Kim's greatest opponents, having had some fantastic matches with Gail in the past. From out of nowhere, it's been years.
I think God told her to come back.
I think so, because she makes a huge difference in this match, distracting Gail Kim, hitting her, taking her out, which gives, of course, Sienna the opportunity to get the win with the AK-47.
Great
and the
manipulation
roll-up.
by Sienna, I must say.
You know what? I'm going to have to agree with you. I think Sienna had this planned from the beginning. This was incredible.
It wasn't even planned from the beginning. She just fought it on the spot.
No, this was clearly planned from the beginning.
Fought
Sienna,
it on the spot.
Taryn were in on it together with KM. This was actually... I'm going to give you girls some props, so agree with me for once.
I'm agreeing with you if it's right.
I think Sienna had a great strategy coming into this to take Gail, who is the greatest knockout of all times, out of the match.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So now we have Gail and Taryn Terrell coming up at some point. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
And just to emphasize that, after the match, Taryn did mount Gail in a very dominant pose and then raised her hand. She was wearing an outfit very reminiscent of when she was part of the Dollhouse as well.
I liked it.
It was awesome. This was an amazing way to start the show.
I know. I think we got another part of the family joining.
You may have.
Yeah.
We'll find out more
Another member
next week. I hope. Next up, we had a Matt Seidel promo package. He has his match later this evening with Lashley with the stipulation of whoever wins can take a shot at whatever title they want. It's basically a Money in the Bank type situation.
I still like my piss testing match better.
You really wanted to see that, didn't you?
I really want to see what Matt Seidel's smoking.
Now, the reason why my voice is really croaky is because of the next segment, and I swear I'm probably going to lose my voice during the course of this show.
Yeah, if anyone's wearing headphones, turn them down.
Yeah. So Bruce comes out with the Global Force title. Bruce Pritchard being an authority figure in Global Force.
Mm-hmm. What's he doing there?
God damn, Bruce.
Brucey.
He lets us know in a very sly way using wrestling terminology that El Patron has been stripped of the title due to his conduct, but it sounds like he may have been fired as well because he said the magic words, best of luck with your future endeavors, which is the Wrestling Insider's term. This is what you get on your release letters from a wrestling contract.
Yeah.
WWE wishes you the best of luck with your future endeavors is the first line. So your future endeavored, as they say in the industry.
No, that's a classier way of saying fired.
Yeah, future endeavored.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce decides that he's going to give the title back to Lashley because fuck it.
Fuck it, why not?
Because that makes total sense.
And it does.
Wait, how?
Well, he had the title last. He took it off the person that, stole it from him. So just give it back to who it was.
Yeah, but it doesn't... Even your logic there is so circular, it doesn't make sense. Whatever.
Makes sense to me, and that's all that counts.
Look, luckily we don't have to put up with any more of this shenanigan and bullshit because the savior is here. The true savior of Global Force Wrestling has arrived. Jim Cornette is back! Jim Cornette's back!
Jim Cornette.
I love me some Jim Cornette.
I know you do.
I'm a huge, huge fan of Jim Cornette.
You love your JCs, don't you?
Yeah, because Jim Cornette has a very, very old school wrestling mentality. He appreciates wrestling as wrestling, not as sports entertainment. There should be finishes to every match because if you're going to pull a screw job, it should mean something. 6 out of 8 matches, every card shouldn't be screw job finishes. Jim has a very simple ideology in wrestling. Fuck Vince Russo.
Hey, Vince Russo.
And everything that fucking clown stands for.
Hey, he's one of our fans. Don't be disrespectful like that.
Yeah, anyway. So Jim is here. It is amazing. The other thing as well, of course, Jim Cornette was one of the greatest wrestling managers of all times and probably one of the best promo people ever. And it doesn't take long to prove that when he fires Bruce Pritchard.
I am actually happy about that.
Jim's in charge.
He's finally done something that I wanted to do for weeks now.
Jim is in charge.
Yeah.
We have a new era of Global Force Wrestling starting as of now. There's not going to be any more bullshit. Everyone's earning their place. Doesn't matter where you came from. You're not being handed opportunities. You earn them in front of these fans. And to start that off, next week, we have a 20-man gauntlet match. Last man standing is the new Global Force Wrestling Global Champion.
So everyone on the roster, practically.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
A vast majority.
80% of them.
Except for Grado.
Oh. I want to see Grado get his ass kicked, though.
Very quickly. That would be great. Just in and out.
Yeah.
During the Hacksaw Jim Duggan Royal Rumble appearance.
And then straight up.
Yeah, straight out. So, but that's not all. Like, this didn't end there. After that, we had LAX come out to confront Jim Cornette.
Or as they call him, the cracker.
And in one of probably the best promo segments you're going to see ever, Jim Cornette versus Conan, mic to mic.
Mm-hmm.
It was brilliant.
It was, some haymakers were thrown.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Conan is so fast and so witty, but so is Jim Cornette, and they just bounced off each other.
Mm-hmm.
They've known each other for a long time. It was great. Low-key, of course, also isn't happy with what's happening because he was supposed to be the number one contender tonight, but no one's a champion, so there's no number one contender. So Jim Cornette, being as fair as he is, makes Loki the number 20 in the gauntlet match.
I don't know if he was being fair. I think he was more scared for his life.
That's about as fair as you can be. He didn't stand... LAX threatened him multiple times, and he didn't stand down at all.
He didn't say he was going to call the police and the authorities.
Yeah, because he's not an active wrestler. Don't put your hands on him. This was great. Again, low-key is number 20 in the gauntlet match next week. That's going to be cool. I can't wait to see more of Conan and Jim Cornette.
Yeah, talk shit.
Please. It was literally like a Friars roast.
Yeah, it was. It was enjoyable to watch.
Brilliant. So next up, and again, this just keeps getting better and better. Like, you'd think that Jim Cornette arriving to Global Force and making these announcements would be the highlight of the show. And for me, it was. But in reality, the show just kept building from there because we had the Super X Cup final straight after this.
I know, right? Jesus Christ.
Ishimori versus Desmond Xavier. This was a phenomenal match.
It was. For an X Division match, it was alright.
Dude, you have to say this was more than alright. Drop your prejudice just for 1 minute. Come on, this was a great match.
Alright, I'll drop my prejudice. It was above par.
It was above par. Both of them displayed the absolute brilliance they are, with Desmond Xavier showing off his athletic skill, being the more flippy of the two, but yet not. Like, Ishimori still could keep up with his high-flying antics, but Desmond Xavier just had that little bit more. Ishimori, on the other hand, had a bit more power to him in that Japanese style he was delivering. It was a real international-style clash match, with Ishimori, of course, representing Pro Wrestling Noah and Desmond Xavier representing Global Force Wrestling. I really enjoyed this. I thought the whole series was fantastic. The Super X Cup was absolutely brilliant. But this was the culmination of it, and just a fantastic match to top off a great series.
It was definitely alright.
Dude, you didn't put your phone on silent.
Huh?
You didn't put your phone on silent.
I think it's Jim Cornette.
You just went full retard.
What? Well, sorry, I thought it was Jim Cornette. I wasn't expecting a call.
I'm going to call you out for it. You didn't put your phone on silent.
Well,
You got to cop some shit.
Well, I thought it was Jim Cornette. I wanted to make sure.
Everyone in the comments below, come on.
Oh, what?
You got to lay some shit on him for this.
What? That I
You
have
got to give him some heat.
What? That I have some awesome ringtone?
The standard ringtone that comes with the Samsung.
It's still awesome.
All right. So again, this match was so worth watching, and Desmond Xavier gets the win with this backflip into back handspring, Pele kick into roll-up finish. It was a great end to the match.
That Pele kick was freaking out of nowhere, though.
Yeah, that... sorry, cartwheel, maybe backflip into handspring, into Pele kick. Really great. My throat's killing me, so I need a drink. Bear with me a moment. While I'm doing that, though, next up, we did have a great segment and Bruce getting kicked out backstage, getting dragged out by security.
And then he got interrupted by, what was it? That Karen Jarrett character.
Karen Jarrett chewed Bruce a new asshole on the way out the door.
I think they were chewing both each other a new asshole.
No, Bruce was trying, but it's hard to, like, be right and win an argument when you're getting dragged out by security.
Pickle.
This isn't over. This isn't over. Security's kicking you out of the building, dude. It pretty much
like
is.
It's over, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you don't have...
I'm just glad I don't have to see his face anymore.
Yeah, look, I was kind of enjoying the character and the possible heel turn coming. Like, even bigger heel turn, I should say. But if Bruce being out and that storyline going means Jim Cornette coming in, I have absolutely no problem with never seeing Bruce again. Bruce will, of course, be backstage. But I thought Karen Jarrett got a great line out while he was getting dragged out. She's like, this is something you can wrestle with, Bruce. Of course, Bruce Pritzen's wrestling podcast, Something to Wrestle With.
Something to wrestle with. Yeah, nice one, Carrot.
Next up, we had Grado and Joseph Parker backstage. They weren't actually on the card, but they did get a little segment explaining that next week, Grado's been deported.
Yeah, bye-bye, Grado.
And he has to say goodbye
About time.
to Impact Wrestling.
About time. His shenanigans are finally over.
Basically, he's got 1 week to get a marriage certificate and a green card. The heat is on.
That's all I can say.
Next up, following that fantastic Super X Cup match, we had the X Division Championship ladder match with Trevor Lee versus Sanjay Dutt, so we could finally see who was the true X Division champion.
So, yeah, I would have been excited for this match, but we already know who's is the deserved X Division champion?
Yeah, Sanjay Dutt.
No. Trevor Lee.
Sanjay Dutt.
Trevor Lee.
Hang on, Sanjay Dutt never lost the title. Trevor Lee stole the title. How does that make him?
He didn't steal the title. He lost it, and then Trevor Lee found it on the floor, and then he was like, "Well, you know what?
Stole
Find
it
it
out of the ring after he
Find
hit
his
him."
keepers, man, and that's a law." And he took it.
Okay. So,
But hey, we get a ladder match out of it, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah, so this is going to be a ladder match for the X Division champion. The title is, of course, suspended above the ring as per the normal ladder match stipulations.
Mm-hmm.
You have to beat your opponent down, put the ladder in the middle of the ring, climb it, take the title down to win. Until then, there is no holds barred. So this led to some absolutely brutal hits for both of them. Trevor Lee copying an early ladder to the face off the baseball slide.
Mm-hmm.
Sanjay Dutt getting just heaved into a ladder at one point. Trevor Lee almost deadlifted him and just dropped him into it. There was a table at one point. There was all sorts of nastiness in this match, but also in between that was a really great wrestling match.
Yeah, no, definitely was.
It was
an enjoyable match.
Yeah, there was some great wrestling from both Trevor Lee and Sanjay Dutt. And considering the caliber of the Super X Cup match that had happened just prior to that, they really had to pull out something special to steal the show from them, and they truly did.
Yeah.
But even though the match was coming to a point where you knew, all right, it's going to end soon, and they had done some spectacular stuff, something else stole the match from them. So Caleb Conley comes out and heel turns on Sanjay Dutt, dropping him, setting up Trevor Lee to be able to climb the ladder. But before that happens, we have another surprise, and probably one of the best surprises tonight. Petey Williams is back!
Petey Williams. What the fuck?
Petey Williams grabs Caleb Conley and Canadians the fuck out of him to next year.
I gotta say, that was a pretty cool Canadian.
The originator of the Canadian Destroyer, Petey Williams, is back in Global Force.
Wow, and he's looking good too.
Looks fantastic. And
don't know why he interfered and cost Trevor Lee the match, but whatever.
This was in all fairness. He just took out Caleb Conley, leveled the playing field, and let it just go down back to Trevor Lee and Sanjay Dutt. And in saying that even, Trevor Lee had the upper hand because he took Sanjay Dutt out immediately with the ladder. Tried to set the ladders up for himself, tried to climb, but Sanjay Dutt was too quick for him, springboarded from the ropes onto the ladder, climbed it.
Trevor Lee was still confused why Petey was there.
Petey was there because he's awesome.
No.
That's all that matters. And as somebody who at one stage in his life performed that maneuver, you should respect the originator.
I did it better anyway.
No, you didn't. Trevor Lee is there. They're scuffling at the top of the ladder. Sanjay and Trevor, I should say. Sanjay gets the ultimate hit off. Trevor falls off the ladder, bounces off another ladder. That was just rough before hitting the ground. And the true X Division champion retains his title in a fantastic match. Sanjay Dutt has his title back.
Theft, I say. It's not fair.
It was
Hopefully your boy Jim Cornette can fix that up, because that was a bit of thievery right there.
This was fantastic.
I mean, a bit of interference.
Not only was this an amazing match, not only did the rightful person get their title back, but we also got the return of Petey Williams. Couldn't have asked for more.
We got
in
someone
an
that
X
didn't
Division
even
match.
belong there, man. Like he's
Caleb Conley.
No, freaking Petey Williams. He's not even from there. He's from fucking Canada, for God's sake. He doesn't belong there.
Well, it is Global Force.
Don't hit me with that shit.
Next up, we had Lashley backstage chewing out interview bot.
Yep.
Just lays shit into her.
I think there's like a little backstage game that the wrestlers have, like who can roast interview bot
the hardest. Yeah. Conan's still winning with random white girl number 5.
Easy. That's what I'm pretty sure her name is.
But they are trying to up themselves.
Yeah.
But this was good, but not Conan level good. And then cuts his promo about the match tonight. Calls Matt Seidel a loser.
I would have went one better and called him a hippie, but whatever.
Okay. I think loser is a stronger terminology than hippie. I think Matt Seidel would be like, yeah, I am a hippie.
Yeah, no, but I'd rather be called a loser than a hippie.
Oh, that's rough.
No, it's not rough. Get a job, you goddamn hippies.
Next up, we had Ohio versus everything. The Chris
Who?
brothers.
Who?
OVE.
Who?
The Chris brothers
Never heard of them.
versus two random jobbers. And you know they're jobbers because they don't even have an entrance. They're just in the ring already.
OVE. Why does that sound familiar?
They used to be OKE. Ohio
There's
Kills
else
Everything.
about 'em. Oh, Blink 182.
I was actually going to say, I think they're very reminiscent of an early Team Extreme, the Hardy Boys, when they first debuted.
Yeah, Hardy Boys were practically Blink 182 anyway.
No,
Yeah, they were.
so different. So different.
Yeah,
You
they
can
were.
tell you really don't know alternate music. So different. But,
It's all the same to me.
yeah, I know it is. That's why it's bad.
Mhm.
Yeah, they really have that feeling of an early Team Extreme and their looks and the way they move and stuff. Now, this match had a weird flow to it, and I believe it's because one of the jobbers went into business for themselves to try and make themselves look good on TV.
I still don't think he went business for himself.
No, I think he did, because one of the Chris brothers turns around and goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" and yells it at him loud enough for everyone to hear.
Fair enough. How rude.
Yeah. And then they proceed to get jobbed out to OVE hard. I'm looking forward to seeing more from OVE, but these two jobbers, well, one of the jobbers, I should say, because the other dude played the game and did his job, kind of tried to ruin their debut, but it didn't work because they were over with the crowd. Saying "what the fuck are you doing" kind of got them more over with the crowd. And even though it was kind of a weak middle, they're ending with the low-high double kick, so it's a super kick to the face with a sweep to the ankle. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was alright.
So OVE get the win, and I'd like to see them in a match with competent competitors,
Yeah.
not just jobbers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for Linkin Park to get some more matches.
Another amazing, and everyone tonight was trying to steal a show with whatever they had. And somebody in this little package did. But I'm going to get to that. Just another incredible segment we had. EC3 and Moose both wanting in on the gauntlet match, putting aside their grand championship differences, going,
Yeah.
no, we both want in on this.
Yeah.
Which was great. And Jim Cornette going, "Does this look like a phone in my hand, a shoe in my hand?" while he's talking on
And
the
they
phone.
both look at each other like, what the hell is that? Like,
It's good. It's the oldest phone.
yeah, they both start roasting him about his phone.
It's clearly a 1998 model.
Yeah.
Like, it's so old. But you know what? It's probably his real phone.
Yeah, probably.
So he says, "Fine, you're both in the gauntlet match. Of course you are. Look at you. You're two of the best guys here. You're going in." Next up, Eli Drake and Chris Adonis just appear out of nowhere. Eli Drake cuts an amazing promo. It was brilliant. They're like, "You've got 20 seconds." He's like, "Really? Cool. Watch me steal the show."
Gotta love that man.
He's so good. Eli Drake and Jim Cornette are going to have a beautiful future together.
Yeah.
Because even in this very small little tiny fragment that we see of their budding relationship, let's say, Jim Cornette Eli clearly rubs him the wrong way. And Jim says, "Yeah, you're going in, of course. And just to prove how good you are, you can go in at number 1.
You done him wrong. You done him wrong. Let's put it that way.
Well, Eli did say, "I'm the number 1 contender. I'm the number 1
he's the
guy."
number 1 contender. Doesn't mean he wants to go in number 1.
So he's number 1.
Nah, you done him wrong.
It's great.
First
This is
day and he's
great.
already making mistakes. What's going on,
Brilliant.
Jimmy?
Jim's amazing. We had the Lashley versus Seidel promo package, so you know what's coming up next is our main event. The reason that we're here, it's Lashley versus Seidel, with the winner getting a shot at whatever title they want. So this is going to be interesting because we've got the 20-man gauntlet coming up, and if Lashley wins, he's automatically number 1 contender if he wins a gauntlet or not. Matt Seidel can go for the X Division title, can go for the heavyweight title by the sounds of it. The stipulations have slightly changed. But what if Seidel wins a 20-man gauntlet next week? And he is the champ and the number 1 contender. This is just an interesting stipulation all around.
Maybe he's not in it.
Maybe he's not. We'll see what happens. So this was a real David versus Goliath, power versus speed, tail of the tape. Matt Seidel, of course, was trying his best to counter Bobby Lashley's power with his speed, doing things like quick counters in the air and turning a powerbomb into a DDT or a Hurricane Runner. Lashley, of course, was using his power to throw Seidel around, And while Seidel was trying to get offense, Lashley was using that to power through his offense and throw him around and ragdoll him.
When's Matt Seidel going to learn? You can't beat power
Well,
and brute strength.
it was it did kind of look like it was going that way through the middle of the match.
Doesn't he know what happened in history?
What?
Goliath won.
You're an idiot. You're just an idiot.
What?
Anyway, so in the middle of the match, it did look like Lashley was going to outpower Seidel with this great sequences of Seidel only just escaping pinfalls after getting powered by Lashley. I got a fantastic crossbody block, which was amazing. Just some great moves. But in the end, Seidel's speed is the determining factor in the match because Seidel actually got the win. A really quick roll-up on Lashley after Lashley missed a spear and went shoulder first into the turnbuckle. Seidel grabbed him quick, rolled him up into the schoolboy. 1, 2, 3. And we now have a new number one contender for whatever title he wants.
Cheap way to win it, but whatever.
Thought this was a great outcome. Out of kayfabe for a moment, Lashley doesn't need a win. He's Lashley. He's the type of person that he can eat a loss and next week still be the most dominant person in the ring, still be a credible number one contender, still be a credible
The only reason
anything.
it makes it a big win for Matt Seidel is because he beat Lashley.
Exactly. And this is a huge step in Matt Seidel's career, establishing him as a contender in the heavyweight division as well as X division or wherever he wants to be. He's no longer bound just by the restrictions of I'm an X division competitor. And in fact, this kind of opens it up for everyone because Lashley's whole thing has been like the X division can't stand up to me. And they just did in the manifestation of Matt Seidel. So that's an interesting, like, sort of different psychological look at it. But remember, psychology is a big part of wrestling. So I thought this was great. And just to send us home on a high, if that wasn't enough, we had a promo package for a new person making an impact. Johnny Wrestling, or Johnny Impact, sorry, Johnny Wrestling's Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
No, Johnny Impact.
Is that what he's going by?
Yeah, that's what it said. Johnny Impact is coming. Who you may know as Johnny Mondo, John Morrison, John Hennigan, whatever you want to know him as, he's going to be making an impact in Global Force very soon. The Triple Crown champion currently in AAA. Okay. He holds 3 titles. They're heavyweight, they're middleweight, and something else. He's got 3 titles at once. He's now coming to Global Force to make an impact.
All right. We'll see what he has to offer.
I'm looking forward to it.
Same.
So let's quickly go through. We actually have like a roast dinner coming, so we're going to run through this quick. And I've got a different discussion point for tonight. So we're not going to do comment of the week, but we're still going to acknowledge everyone who takes the time to comment on our show. We really, really appreciate it. Everyone who actually watches the show, thank you so much for taking the time to hear us ramble.
Yeah. Talk shit about wrestling.
We love it.
Yeah.
And make sure you let us know what you
Talk
thought
shit
of
back
the
with
show.
us.
Yeah, let us know what your match of the night was, what your segments of the night were, what you thought of the angles, and where you think the company's going. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. First up, let's say thank you directly to our commenters. Average Boy.
Average.
Alessio.
Alessio.
Jeremy Williams.
JW.
Vincent is Valentine.
Vincent is Valentine. Do I get my card? When do I get it? We'll find out.
Bird versus Camel.
Hey.
Katsudo.
I'll do this one. Katsuo Shashin.
Him.
Yeah.
Cap. Space Com.
Impact Wrestling by Anthem Al.
And, of course, long comment guy.
Smooky.
297 over on Reddit. Thank you so much.
Is he still long commenting?
Oh, it's insane. It's great. I love it, dude. It's literally a breakdown of our breakdown. And then his thoughts on it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's really cool. So make sure you keep commenting, sir. We really appreciate it. But I wanted to actually discuss something a little bit different this week, being a non-Impact Wrestling episode of Impact Wrestling. Thought I'd do something different. So every normal episode, we're going to do comment of the week as normal. This time, I'm going to throw something else out there.
Look, I don't mind when you do something different, but I hate when you don't tell me it.
Yeah, I like not telling you because then I get your actual opinions and not the ones you make up beforehand.
But I like making you up beforehand.
What I wanted to actually comment on, what I wanted to discuss was something that Jim Cornette actually said in the show. Going forward, Impact's now going to be a place where these guys have to earn their place on the card, have to earn their shots by the crowd, by, working for the people, working for the company. They're not going to allow people to tarnish the name of the company anymore. You're going to have to act like professionals. If you come in from somewhere else, don't think you're just getting title shots. Like, you're going to come in and earn it like everyone else. Now, with the people returning, like Taryn, Terrell, Petey Williams, these are guys that are Impact Wrestling people. So I have no problems with them coming in and making an impact straight away. If Taryn Terrell wants to go straight into a program with Gail Kim, I have no problems with that because I've had some amazing matches in the past. If Petey Williams wants to come in and have a match with anyone, I don't care because he did the Canadian Destroyer. Jim Cornette, of course, was in Impact a long time ago as well. So even him coming in isn't a big deal. But people what did you think of Johnny Mundo's promo package at the end?
It was interesting.
It was interesting. Definitely. And I think him having a name in other organizations,
like we know who he is, though.
Yeah, we know who John Morrison was in WWE. We know Johnny Mundo from Lucha Underground.
Underground, yeah.
I don't think him coming in hurts the brand, though.
No.
No, and it's not the point that Jim Cornette was making. And I don't think he's going to come in and get a world title shot straight away. But he may get a champion versus champion match because they do have a deal with AAA. They can talk about Lucha.
Well, yeah, he's a champion. Like, if it was like someone that just came with no top belts and nothing under his name, different story.
But I don't think it should be a title match.
No, it's just champion versus
champion. Just not a champion slap thing. A champion versus champion, like Lucha Underground champion versus Global Force champion. I think that'd be an interesting thing. Like, clearly you're going to have a screw job finish on that just so nobody looks bad. But I think that'd be interesting. But I don't think he should automatically come in and be the number one contender.
No.
I think him, like anyone else, should come in and earn their place on the card, like Jim was saying. I also think the Jim's approach to wrestling, if you don't know it, is a very old, traditional style of wrestling. But he also appreciates athletes. And so a point that he tries to make all the time is like, these guys are athletes. You need to treat them like that. But then they need to act like athletes as well. And you can look at any professional sport you want, be it basketball, football, any code from any country. If we're talking UK football or we're talking American football or we're talking rugby league in Australia, they all act in a certain manner. They all act like professionals.
Mm-hmm.
They all go dressed to work in suits. They all leave the arenas in suits.
They go to training in suits. They have a code of conduct. And that brings us to Global Force stripping Alberto El Patron of the title and continuing his suspension, and by the looks of it, possibly even firing him over the way he was behaving with Paige in the airport. Now, we know that Paige was the one that was actually charged in the end, not Alberto, but it's still not conduct befitting a champion. And it does, when you're all over TMZ and shit, it kind of makes the company you work for look bad. So do you think, I personally think this is a positive step. In doing something like this, they're taking a stand and saying, no, we're not going to put up with this type of behavior. We're not the alternative. And that's another thing that Jim said, we're not somewhere you can come and take a holiday. Yeah, that's exactly, actually said that.
Yeah, we're not the alternative. We're a legit organization. You need to start fucking acting like that's what this is. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I did. I actually didn't mind him stripping the title of El Patron. At the end of the day, as you said, it was, I wouldn't say Paige's fault, but, she initiated it, blah, 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 and whatever.
She's the one that was charged with
and all that. But at the end of the day, it's, as you said, you're representing a company and stuff. For example, WWE got rid of Roman Reigns, who's one of the biggest stars, for a month just because they found, substance and
weed.
Weed in his pocket, you know what I mean? And, and that's their biggest name, and they can
a code of conduct.
Code of conduct, you know what I mean? You got to stick by the rules, sort of thing.
Look, I used to work in corporate, and I've worked for some of the biggest organizations in Australia.
including telcos and internet providers and sales companies and all sorts of things, I had codes of conduct. That it was like you can't behave certain ways during work hours, wearing your uniform, on the way home. Like, after you leave work,
people that work in fast food chains have a code of conduct.
Yeah. So I completely understand this. I think this is a really positive step in legitimizing Global Force to a lot of people, showing that they're not going to allow this type of behavior.
Yeah. No, it's gone in the right directions.
Yeah.
And plus, hey, as I said, they stripped it off someone that didn't deserve it. So
we're back to this.
Mm-hmm.
As the storyline aside, I think this is a great positive step, and I'd love to know what you guys actually think of this. And if you think this is a positive step for Global Force and a great way to start a new era of Global Force Wrestling with Jim Cornette, next week we've got our 20-man tournament. We've got a returning Petey Williams.
20-man tournament. Gauntlet, sorry.
Gauntlet. It's going to be great. Got a returning Taryn Terrell. We've got a returning Petey Williams. What do you think of what's going on in Global Force?
Well, it's going the right way. Let's put it that way.
Definitely. So that's where we get to, just before we say goodbye, we get to a point in the show where we've got to pick our match of the night.
My match of the night's going to have to be the knockouts again.
You got the knockouts?
Yeah.
I have to say, dude, I really enjoyed that. And
I really enjoyed that match too.
I really did. And I thought it was a brilliant way to start the show. And not only a great way to open the show, but with the
It was like watching a match of chess. That's how it was.
There was a lot of that, dude. There was some great technicality, but I think Taryn Terrell's surprise return was also a great way to set expectations for the rest of the show. Like, you don't know what the fuck's happening tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
pretty much.
Yeah. And I loved that. It was just like, wait, what? Now, it would be very easy for me to just pick the Jim Cornette segment.
Which I thought you
That
were.
would be that. I'm actually going to give a shout out, not to Jim Cornette, but to Eli Drake, because I thought he was amazing.
He was amazing.
And Conan.
Coded, yeah.
Conan was amazing. It was great. My match of the night, like, I really struggled to pick a match because I thought they were just all so damn good. But I'm going to give it to Trevor Lee versus Sanjay Dutt.
Oh, okay, nice.
That X Division ladder match was fantastic. The pacing was great. The match itself was fantastic. Petey Williams returning, delivering a Canadian Destroyer. Haven't seen one of them in so long. Like, saw John Cena do one. Didn't look the same.
But it was alright still.
Look, fantastic that he did. He did two. It's great. Still doesn't look the same. Like, Petey does it just a touch better.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought this was a great highlight, not only for the X Division itself, but for the company. I thought Trevor Lee, he's amazing always, and willing to take some huge bumps for the company, and Sanjay Dutt's the same. They've given the X Division title to the right person. Petey Williams is back. There was just some great bits in this match as well. Really loved it.
Yeah. It's your own. At least we didn't agree on the same one, so I'm happy about that.
So am I. I hate agreeing with you.
Same.
So let us know what your match of the night was, what you thought of OVE's taking care of a jobber on live TV thing was.
I'm looking forward to seeing more punk bands join
Impact.
Impact.
Yeah, it should be good. Maybe we can have a battle of the bands at one stage.
Battle of the bands, get out of it.
What did you think of Jim Cornette coming back to sort Global Force out?
Were you more excited than the Stooge?
Oh, Jimmy's back.
Did you piss your pants when he came out?
Very close. Very close.
I swear
I had to hold it.
That's where you went and changed your pants.
No, I had to hold it.
Oh, okay.
I had to hold
Fair
it.
enough.
Yeah. I ran. Didn't happen.
Okay, fair call.
Held it. Got it.
Because you were like,
Made
Jim
it.
Cornette! And I was like, what the fuck?
I lost my nana.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, so again, let us know what you think of Bruce getting fired. That's great too. Let us know if you think KM is truly Biff Tannen in another form.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for listening. Until next week, I have been your host, The Stooge.
And I'm the one spectacular and beautiful G-Banks.
And don't forget, adventure, excitement. Stooge craves not these things.
Welcome to the Stooge Revolution.
Jim Cornette's back, baby.
Yeah.